welcome to The Hard Sell, the show where a stick in a swill-bucket rattles back.
Have a break.
Today's episode takes us very nearly 30 years into the past, and ridiculously early in the morning. Like 8:30 or something, insane. It's 1990, it's February the 24th, and it's TVAM, and it's Saturdays. This is the peak of the station's success, but it was literally the most financially successful TV channel in the entire world. And a shining beacon of Thatcherite neoliberalism that was still 18 months from being destroyed by that exact thing, in a giant slice of karmic irony that could only have been more delicious if anyone in the entire world had actually learned from it. But that's a story I've told before, and it hasn't even happened yet as far as the late Mike Morris here is concerned. Because as I said, it's February 1990 and TVAM rules the mornings. The days when they had to settle for showing the same advert for curtain rods over and over for all kinds of hours are well and truly behind them. Real products can advertise here now. Although there's still an obvious demographic that's likely to have its eyes pointed at the screen at this time of day, see if you can work out what it is. Now let me hear that Jeff Wayne synth.
Can babies be born with an allergy, and how do you tell it from an ordinary illness?
You might be better off asking someone wearing clothes, and who has the capacity to put them on in the first place.
What's the difference between wind and something more serious?
Honestly, I think these questions are a little above their pay grade.
Why do some women go off sex after having a baby?
Well, that was just all kinds of inappropriate.
Find out in a new publication called My Child. Each week it builds into a complete guide to childcare and pregnancy.
This sort of part-work magazine, where every month you buy what amounts to a new chapter in an encyclopedia compiled in slow motion, was very popular in the 80s through to the mid-90s. They provided a sort of quick fix for middle-class ignorance, or a desperate self-assembly hobby for lonely housewives desperate for something to stave off the cabin fever. That's also why Neighbours was so popular. This one's a sort of Hayes manual for children.
It explains how to overcome your baby's fears, how to cope in their early days, gives tips on helping your child grow and planning your life as a parent. And there's a weekly A to Z of child health.
That last one's a real anxiety button pusher. What if there's a deadly and contagious disease that can only be cured by some esoteric means, and whose name begins with a Z? I'll have to wait 26 weeks to find out about it. By which time we need a part-work magazine called My Screaming Homunculus instead.
Get My Child, because every mother needs a little help.
Free binder. Well, this is of no help whatsoever in dating the clip, is it? This haunting and exotic spot for Fry's Turkish Delight was covered in last year's Easter episode, of course, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Look it up, there's nearly 100 episodes, knock yourself out. At this point in 1990, it's in year 9 of its 14-year original run. It was actually kind of cool when it showed up on a Friday night in the mid-90s during Friends or Frasier, sticking out like a sore thumb with its increasingly faded film stock, a giveaway that it was originally made for the cinema first and the TV second, and showing all the other adverts up with its abstract artistry, of course. Early in the morning, it's apt to make you feel a little bit woozy and uncertain of whether or not you've actually woken up. Well, me anyway. And the soundtrack provides another helping of Jeff Wayne, of course.
Fry's Turkish Delight, full of Eastern promise.
1-4.
When pain strikes, remember, there's a powerful pain reliever available without prescription called Solpadeine.
I don't know who decided to make an advert for a headache medicine which centres around huge machines making really loud noises, but they're clearly either an idiot or an evil genius. Possibly both. Looks like the coalition's progress in the escalating Gulf crisis is threatened because a radar operator has a migraine.
That has 2 active pain-killing ingredients, paracetamol and codeine.
In generic medical terms, this is called a cocodamol, or sometimes paracodeine. My dad got it on prescription for his arthritis. It's very effective, although it's also highly addictive. You can only get it over the counter if you promise not to take it more than 2 days running, lest you turn it into Matthew Perry circa 1996. At least that's the case nowadays, when Solpadeine, in its common or garden variety, instead consists of paracetamol and caffeine. The over-the-counter cocodamol version advertised here is now called Solpadeine Plus, and usually needs to be asked for rather than just blithely taken down from the shelf. There's also Solpadeine Max, which is also a cocodamol, but with the caffeine replaced with even more paracetamol and codeine, and Solpadeine Migraine, which consists of ibuprofen and codeine, and presumably requires you to sign a waiver before purchase. And finally, Solpadeine Motherfucker, which for legal reasons I must point out doesn't actually exist.
Solpadeine delivers relief in an effervescent formula to get to work fast. When pain strikes, hit back with double-action Solpadeine. Solpadeine has the power to hit pain where it hurts.
Wipe out. Yeah, hot fun in the summertime. It's February. But who cares? The product's called Surf. What do you want from us?
Surf Automatic has the cleaning power to remove really stubborn dirt and stains at low temperatures.
Early 1990, the Kokomo/Fat Boys-led Beach Boys mini revival is still slightly a thing. It's 2 years until Summer in Paradise comes out and shows the world just what a Mike Love-led Beach Boys actually amounts to.
I can't wait till summer, 'cause it's gonna be a summer of love. Hey now.
Well, it's a love thing.
People all around the world in every nation like to get together for some excitation. If you're a girl who appreciates her recreation, why don't you let me take you on a love vacation?
Mike Love might actually be the most evil being in musical history, and I'm aware of the competition.
To leave your clothes really fresh.
Anyway, this is neither the first nor the last time that Lever Brothers, or more accurately the advertising company they've hired, have decided to make hay out of the otherwise completely arbitrary name of their detergent, Surf.
So, for outstanding low-temperature cleaning, get Surf Automatic.
Very carefully colour-directed, this advert. The sky couldn't be bluer, the sand couldn't be yellower, and everyone, including Gus Hedges, is decked out in exactly 2 highly vivid colours each. The postcard California image is completed with the voice of Paul Gambaccini. Yes, I know, he's from New York.
In powder and liquid, get surfing.
Let a Pearl pension help look after the fundamental things.
It's the amazing kissing man. He was bitten by a radioactive Leslie Phillips. Actually, the reason he's apparently compelled to peck his family at each opportunity is that he has such a great pension plan from Pearl Assurance. Okay then. Good luck with that.
Dial 100 and ask for a free phone Pearl now.
Obviously a shortened version of an originally longer advert, which is why it doesn't say anything about why its product is so great. It just is. Ring us up if you really want to know. We dare you. Presumably in the full version he's seen going to his job and kissing all his co-workers and random passers-by. Maybe even customers. I hope he's not a proctologist.
Dial 100 and ask for a free phone Pearl now.
TVAM's commercial breaks were a bit short, especially as the clock inexorably ticked toward their chucking out time of 9:25. So I've appended 2 more adverts from the next break along 20 minutes later, because I'm a maniac. Some techie accidentally almost forgets to fade out the clock, but since by 1990 the TVAM backroom is largely staffed by baffled Polish immigrants and former tea ladies, it's forgivable enough.
She is a woman.
Staff will be brightening up this afternoon.
She is a worker.
Dad,
Daniel. She is a mother. She is a lover.
She may be the face I can't forget. A trace of pleasure or regret, maybe my treasure, or the price I have to pay. One thing's for certain, though. She is almost exclusively defined by her relationship to something else. She's an employee, a mother to the same baby who provided the audio logo for Comfort Fabric Softener, apparently, and a sexual facilitator. The only thing she is on her own account is a woman, which not coincidentally happens to be the most basic thing she is outside of Homo sapiens.
She is the magazine for women who juggle their lives. Your new look marches you.
She is a woman, all right. Beyond that, she is entirely defined by her various functions in society. And this magazine right here can make sure she's up to or exceeding society standards in all of them. Because that's what these magazines are for. Women's magazines advertise during TVAM a lot, and right from day one. You're one of the most potent examples of advertisers correctly identifying their audience right from the start. She magazine was something of a veteran at this time, having been launched in 1956. This 1990 relaunch is clearly an attempt at modernising the title, from the increasingly old-fashioned family circle-ish mumsiness to the far more fashionable, sophisticated white wine fashion and sexual athletics format that Marie Claire had introduced 3 years earlier, and would soon blow the knitting patterns and sob stories off the shelves completely. She magazine held out longer than most until 2011, before finally collapsing. Marie Claire, of course, is still going strong. Or as strong as any print media is these days.
Your new look marches you.
Ah yes, another one regular viewers will be familiar with. What I call a stuff advert, an advert for a marketing board promoting the abstract notion of a product rather than the specific brand of it. In this case, the Butter Council of the Mill Marketing Board. It's also bollocks, as you can see. Penguin doesn't know what the fuck. I do think it's a slightly flawed premise. Is butter really that much for the shared human experience? There are plenty of lactose intolerant people out there. Have they missed out on some kind of spiritual awakening? Is to never taste butter to suffer an incomplete soul? I mean, I've tasted butter, so I don't know. Anyone out there who hasn't, are you a hollow shell of a being as a result? Or is it like mere coincidence?
See, Jan, there goes more of our delicious Dutch bacon off to England.
Hope there's enough left for us.
Finally, because it's breakfast time, here is some bacon. Advertisers never did get over the whole advertising breakfast food in the morning on general principles thing. Bacon and eggs and cereals were pushed on Good Morning Britain more than any other time of day. For all I know, still are. I suppose it does make sense. It's like television leaning over and saying, "What's that you're eating? Yeah? You know what, it's shit. Try this instead. And this, and this, and some of these."
Look, the British get our bacon. Well, what do they give us?
It's usually Danish bacon we're being peddled, but this time it's Dutch. There is, of course, nothing particularly special about either variety except for the distances travelled to get to your plate, which isn't actually an advantage if you have to be concerned about your local economy. But a gimmick's a gimmick.
Groovy things, Jan. Lots of groovy things.
14 years after British punk's eruption, it's been thoroughly absorbed into the mainstream consciousness as just another symbol. Revolt into style. I'm not lamenting it or anything, it's the inevitable result of an aesthetic gaining mass popularity. It just makes for a fairly stupid advert is all.
Royal Crest Dutch Bacon. Jan thinks you're getting a good deal.
Right, well, I should think that's more than enough for one morning. If you're one of those people who like to go searching for the original breaks on YouTube, be aware of two things. One, that it's spread across a couple of videos, and two, the TVAM footage itself, in between the adverts, contains a troubling amount, i.e. any, of ugly pederast Jonathan King in a hideous shirt. cooking veal with Rusty Lee. And obviously there's a good chance that some or all of those might make you feel rather ill. Management accepts no responsibility. Good morning, Britain. Hey you lovely people, thank you for watching. Do you want to see these things a week before anyone else? Do you want access to even more video essays, random musings, and absurdist close-down based humour? Do you want to read and help shape my new book about the history of the British Broadcasting Corporation? Do you want me to continue to have food and shelter? Well, consider that one a bonus. Support me on Patreon now. Only good can come of it, I promise.